So I'm gonna try something pretty crazy today, and I want to see if I can actually go through with it. I do have a lot of other stuff that I should be doing right now, but that does not concern me right now. What I would like to do right now is see how fast I can make a shirt. And I'm going to be using this beautiful mesh fabric. It has like this gorgeous pattern on it. I've seen this in like an actual like cotton type fabric. I'm not really sure what it's called. It's just like the lightest, most beautiful fabric. And it also comes in black. So with these two options, I'm going to see how fast I can make a blouse. I have a picture that I found on Pinterest, as I always do, and as soon as I saw it, I knew that I wanted to make something. I've already finished and made the black version, and I really like how it turned out. I was very pleasantly surprised to find out that I made this in, I think, less than half an hour. And that was my first time making it. So now I know how it will turn out, and I can fix all the things with my second version in white. So let's see how fast I can do this. Ready, set, go. First thing I'm going to do is measure out the body. Now, because this stuff is very stretchy and I'm going to be making it baggy, it is very easy to make this shirt. I'm usually between a size small and medium in adult women's sizes. Is measuring about, say, 18 inches. Looks like the body is also 17 inches from shoulder to bottom. So I'm going to cut out a rectangle that is 18 inches by 17 inches, and then that will be my beginning point for the body. What I did for this one is just made it a continuous fold. Instead of 17 inches, I did a 34 by 18 inch square and then folded it over before I cut out the neck hole. My sleeves are going to be 18 inches by 14. I love this. This is so fun. It's nice to line up all of these edges, especially because it's sheer and I can see that everything is lining up pretty straight. I'm using the lines on my ruler to line up everything to make sure that I'm cutting at a right angle. I think for this sleeve I'm also going to go a little bit bigger, so let's go up here. And we're going to cut this one at 15 inches. So we've got two sleeves and one folded over body, so I'm going to now make the neck hole for this one. And measure out and see what dimension I need to make a smaller neckline. About a ½ inch up from both of these points. I think that looks pretty good. What I'm going to do now is do a straight stitch down this center line to make the button placket, because I don't really see myself using it as a actual cardigan because it's such a delicate shirt. I'm just going to make it a stationary overshirt. So I'm going to put my length to about a 2 and my width to about 1.5 and set it to a zigzag stitch. And that way it makes a very thin zigzag, so it is stretchy, but it acts more like a straight stitch. So after you sew down the center, you'll have this little placket thing here. And what I did for my other shirt was I just flattened it down with the buttons and sewed the buttons on top of each of these points to mimic the button placket. Turn these little bits up, just a wee little trim. I'm going to find the shoulder edge, which is just me folding this fabric in half and finding the center point. With that, I'm going to find the center of the sleeves. And there is a right side, wrong side to this. The wrong side, if it will let me show you. The wrong side, you can see the ribs of the elastic in the fabric, and on the good side, they are flat. I don't understand why people are so afraid of making clothes out of stretch fabric. It's honestly really easy. You can do everything that you need to with just your regular sewing machine and a zigzag stitch. So these edges are a little jagged, so I'm just going to be very careful when I'm sewing around them that I'm cutting off any of the jagged bits and also making sure that my stitching goes past them so that everything catches. Now, because I do have a serger with white thread set up, I'm just going to take it to my serger and go right along where the sleeve attaches to the bodice on both sides. This is what we got so far. If you notice, while I was sewing together, I always went back on with my serger. So you go down the way that you're going, and then you lift up your presser foot and turn under the fabric to go back down the other way. It locks in all of the stitches that you just created, and so that they won't come undone. It's kind of like the back stitch for sergers, and I just recently learned it via probably Instagram, which was very helpful. So next thing I'm going to do, I could leave the sleeves just like this, but I do like to have a little bit of like a gathered cuff on them. And if you can't tell, I sewed it on the wrong side, which I think I'm just going to unpick it and then re-sew it again. Oh man, I try to go fast and then I start making mistakes. So I need to sew on the elastic, I need to add in the buttons, and then I think we're pretty much done. But how I underestimated this little mistake I made. I had expected this project to go by so much faster, like I did with the other blouse. But thanks to some foolish mistakes, I found myself picking at stitches, tiny stitches, and then re-sewing and realizing that I had made the exact same mistake. I don't know what was wrong today, but I had made the exact same mistake over 3 times. By that last time, I had spent more time picking out the stitches that I had made mistakes on than it actually took to put the entire thing together. And I was pretty bummed and just wanted to finish this even faster than I had before. But once I got the sleeves on the right way, I was finally able to add the elastic onto the cuffs. And I just made that by sewing a piece of elastic into a loop, stretching it over top of my sewing machine with the sleeve inside out pushed underneath the elastic, and then just slightly pulling the elastic so that I can gather the cuff. Then the absolutely last thing I had to do for this was sewing on all the buttons, which in perspective took way less time than all of the other steps. So I was very happy to just sit down, relax, and enjoy the reveal. I can't tell if I like this one better than the black one. They both just have 2 different vibes. This is such a nice overshirt to pair over top of things, and also I'll just say underneath things. Like, I do see myself wearing it a lot underneath my overalls, underneath dresses, just to add the sleeves in. I think that this is such a nice thing to add to my closet, so I'm very happy. It took a little bit longer than I thought just because I kept messing up. I think that the lesson learned is that when I rush things, I make it worse for myself by making mistakes, and then it takes me actually longer than it could have. So I'll have to make a mental note of that in the future, that just take your time and think things through thoroughly, because I think I had to reattach this sleeve maybe 4 times before I got the right sides together. It's just so dreamy and billowy, and I just feel like a poet. I love it. So this is the version that I had made a few days ago. I just love how this looks on. I like wearing them just over top of like a tank top so that you can see the detail against like a lighter base underneath. Both of these shirts just feel really nice to wear. They're nice and airy, breathable, so I don't feel like I'm gonna be like dying of heat. I think it just depends on what mood I'm in, because when I'm feeling a little mysterious and moody, I'll probably wear this one. But when I'm feeling like happy and whimsical, I'll probably throw this one on. You gotta help me in the comments what one you like better, because I'm pretty torn between the 2. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment letting me know what one you liked better, and I hope you'll stay tuned for next week's video. I put some polls up on Instagram today to ask some questions on some thrift flips that I'm going to alter in that video. I hope you saw this in time and headed over to my Instagram or my YouTube to make some decisions on some of the clothes that I'm going to alter. But until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.